A Florida landlord spray paints obscenities on tenants' doors. A Florida man ran from the police into a burning home. An employee of the We Spy coffee shop is accused of spying on customers in the bathroom. A naked Florida woman climbs trees, leading the police to discover a body. And a Florida stripper is arrested for throwing a wad of money at someone. These are the weird stories for Friday, and they are all from the state of Florida, because on Friday we only do weird news from Florida. That's right. It's Florida Friday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the universe. A Florida landlord is charged after spray painting vulgarities on his tenant's door. Sounds to me like they don't have a very good tenant-landlord relationship. We have a Florida landlord who is the focus of a recent investigation, charged with one count of criminal mischief for spray painting a very vulgar insult on the tenant's Ring doorbell camera. The incident, of course, was caught on camera. Because when you walk up to a doorbell camera to spray paint it or whip out your genitals, whatever you're doing in front of the camera is caught on camera. So I don't know what this guy was thinking. I'm sure there's chemicals involved. Let's learn a little bit about what was going on here. And what did he spray paint on the camera? We have Ori Gal, age 51, the Florida landlord. Ori is the focus of a recent story where tenants claim to be living in an unsafe and unsanitary environment at his property. They don't feel safe there. Perhaps he's spray painting all over the place. The city of Dania Beach has fined him thousands of dollars and ordered him to fix apartment conditions and rodent issues in the past, but he doesn't get to it. This guy sounds like one of those slumlords I've heard about. Gal was caught on camera spray painting fat F-U, you know what, on a tenant's front door. So fat F-bomb on a tenant's front door. But I wonder, is it true or is this straight slander? The tenant told the media that he complained about the mold and the rodent issues inside his apartment. It's terrible when you got a rodent issue inside your Florida apartment and mold on top of it. Moldy rodents. You know, it's hard enough living in Florida with all that genitalia out in the open. It's hard to dodge it when you're using public transportation, too. Usually it slaps you in the kneecaps. Can't get away from it. Not to mention the gators, who apparently recently are just walking up to people's front doors and knocking on them and then biting your genitalia, so that's fun. So when the tenant asked his landlord about the incident, you know, the mold and the rodents, he refused to answer any questions about it. He also asked him, of course, about spray painting the words lazy ass and fat F-bomb on his own door. Says he had him on camera spray painting such words. The landlord replied, well, that's news to me, but that's great for news, he added, and then walked away. So he's got a sense of humor of some sort. Doesn't really care about the people who are paying him rent. Or maybe they're not paying him rent. I don't know the history here. I mean, this is a Florida apartment complex. You can just imagine what's going on. And, you know, coincidentally, this isn't the only bad landlord-tenant story I've covered this week. I had a lady who killed her landlord by tugging on his testicles over an electric bill. So it's hard times right now. The rent is not cheap. They're nickel and diming you for everything these days, and it just creates a very tense situation between the property owners and the tenants, unfortunately. There's nothing funny about this. It's just true. A Florida man evades the police by running into a burning house. Florida man will do anything to get away from the police these days, even running into a flaming building. The deputies responded to calls about a house fire in Vero Beach, Florida. When they arrived, they encountered a man who had several active warrants. That's right, they recognized him. Investigators realized he was wanted for violating his probations on several felony charges, including burglary, in the past. Here's a quote from one of the deputies. Well, you know, I had recognized him from previous encounters, so I knew he had some warrants, and I know we had other deputies that were out looking for him at this very moment. You know, I just happened to recognize him when he ran back into the house when he saw us. You know, we knew we'd have to do something. We were like, what do we do? Should we wait for him? You know, I guess the only option was we either he stay in the house and he's either going to burn or eventually he's going to come out. I figured he'd have to come out at some point in time. And, you know, certainly he did. I mean, the Florida man in question here is Mr. Wyatt Guy. He's pretty fly for a Wyatt Guy. See what I did there? 34-year-old Florida man. He had several warrants. He stayed in the house momentarily and then tried to run out of the house and away from the deputies before he was ultimately caught and arrested. Here's another quote from the deputy. Well, he was uncooperative. He was making some excuses. He gave the other deputy a different name when they were asking him questions. He said his name was Dylan, which is not his name, and that we know who he is. And he just couldn't really breathe either, and I think that's why he ran out of the house. Yeah, no kidding. He couldn't breathe. He was inside a smoky, burning building trying to hide out from the police. Of all the places to run. Okay. Here's some more quotes from the deputy. According to him, the reason he ran from us and deadbolted himself into the house was not because he knew he was a wanted man, but because there were 2 dogs of his. These are his pets. He said that he released them from the house into the backyard, so that's why he had to go back inside the house, not because he was running from us. But that wasn't the case. We saw the dogs were already outside the house at that time, so he's a liar on top of it. Now, the investigation also showed that this guy was also the guy that started the fire in the first place. Another quote from the deputy. He said he gotten code enforcement called on his house because of a mess. He was trying to clean up the yard, at which time he started a little fire, to burn some of that stuff in the yard, and the stuff then bounced from the fire pit to a boat and then transferred to a house, and the house got fully engulfed. We don't know how much of this is true. Wow, man, Floridaman not only does some dastardly deeds, but just has the most outlandish excuses after doing it. No, man, I didn't, I was like lighting a cigarette, and then a crow came down and snatched my cigarette out of my hands and dropped it on a blanket that was on the porch. The blanket caught fire. Then my dog likes to play with the blanket, so the dog dragged the blanket into the house. Next thing you know, oops, my house is on fire, and then my dog's in there. I got to let my dog out. I was just trying to let my dog out. I wasn't running from you guys or nothing. I'm not, I didn't even know I had warrants. I mean, I had no idea. I wasn't running from you. I was just trying to save my pets. Yay! An employee at the We Spy coffee shop was arrested for spying in the men's bathroom. You can't make this up. This title is unbelievable. An employee of the We Spy Coffee arrested for spying. Pinellas County. Always Pinellas County. Yeah, that's where the voyeurism is happening. Full force voyeurism in Pinellas County. A 31-year-old Florida man arrested, accused of placing a hidden camera inside the men's bathroom at the We Spy coffee shop. Well, if you go pee in the We Spy coffee shop and a spy camera catches your genitalia, then it's kind of on you, right? I mean, you're going to We Spy Coffee. What did you expect was going to happen? You didn't think there was going to be spy cameras in the bathroom at We Spy Coffee? Come on, hello now. These Florida shenanigans occurred on Monday. The Tarpon Springs PD said that a customer was using the men's room at the We Spy Coffee Cafe. The customer noticed they were being recorded by a camera placed under the sink. Sounds like they didn't hide the camera too well at the We Spy Coffee Shop. Sounds like this guy doesn't know much about spy cameras. It wasn't even a spy camera. Turns out it was just an iPhone that was propped underneath the sink. Hey, great job hiding the camera. It's just an iPhone underneath the sink. It was upside down. The customer picked the phone up and looked, saw that it was actively making a video recording of all that was happening in the bathroom while he was in there. Terrible, bro. You don't even have a spy camera. You can hide those things in anything, in the toilet paper, in the soap dispenser, anywhere. But no, you're using the iPhone propped under the sink, the most lazy spy camera ever at the We Spy Coffee Shop. Now, obviously, the victim felt affronted, insulted. The victim went up to the cafe employee, 31-year-old Florida man. Ooh, you're going to love this name. Spiridon Vulgarakis. Oh, sounds like a Spartan warrior chief. Entering the ring, Spiridon Vulgarakis. Put your phones away. Spiridon Vulgarakis is an employee of the store. Authorities said Spiridon Vulgarakis later admitted to hiding the camera and recording other men using the restroom. Spiridon, what were you going to do with this footage, my friend? Now, according to Detective Melton, who was on the case, Spiridon Vulgarakis became nervous, tried to get his phone back, and ended up battering the victim in the process. Oh, my goodness. The victim got battered by Spiridon Vulgarakis, the Spartan warrior who probably has 10 to 12 abs. Spiridon Vulgarakis dry humps gators for fun. Okay, Spiridon Volkarakis beat the victim and got the victim's genitalia on camera. I mean, this is a bad day for this victim, who they're not naming because they have to keep it like, what do they call that? Incognito because of some law. Okay, Volkarakis was charged with battery and video voyeurism. After inspecting the phone, detectives said there could be even more victims. There could be! You saw the phone. There is or there is not. I'm sure there is. There could be. Just look at the videos, bro. There's multiple genitalia on there. I'm sure of it. This detective says, quote, "We have reason to believe there are more victims out there." Okay, yeah. You have reason to believe. Can you be any more coy? Yeah. I'm sure there's more victims on the phone. There's videos, right? So Volkarakis was a busy man that morning, trying to make some boomerangs. He's going to make like a video montage of all the customers that are his favorites, let's just say. Would you like to easily create and distribute a podcast everywhere, even earn money all in one place for free? Well, try Spotify for Podcasters. Record and edit on your phone or computer. You can send it to Spotify and everywhere podcasts are heard. They even have video podcasting options as well. Spotify for Podcasters allows you to earn money with ads and subscriptions. Best of all, it's free. Try it. Download Spotify for Podcasters or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your life, man. Yay! A naked Florida woman climbing trees leads the police to discover a body. In Palm Beach, Florida, the sheriff's office is investigating a very bizarre series of events that led to the discovery of a body. According to a release from the sheriff's office, the deputies were called at 9 a.m. on Sunday for complaints of a naked woman. She was very naked. She was climbing a tree. What was a naked woman climbing a tree for? Well, you know, when you're naked out in nature, you want to get closer to nature. Sometimes being next to the tree is not enough. You want to get up and into the tree like our ancestors did. So this naked woman climbing a tree, she's doing a throwback to Eve when she was naked in the forests. Although I do believe her nether regions might have been covered by some leaves. This naked woman was going just major throwback. She was feeling very historical, so she climbed the tree naked. Witnesses told the deputies the nude woman had been running around the neighborhood all morning, so I'm going to guess there's some chemicals involved, or, well, we can only guess. The deputies say this naked woman was detained. An investigation led the deputies to a home where they found another dead woman. Okay, so I guess it's the home of the naked lady? Deputies say they believe the nude woman was involved in the homicide of the woman that was found dead. Yeah, it must have been her home. Then they followed her home, or they took her home to get some clothes, and they discovered a dead woman. The nude woman was taken to the hospital for treatment. Officials say the motive of the homicide is unknown, but they do believe it's a homicide. Wow, this is all I have for information. There's not a lot here. We have a naked woman in a tree. The deputies get her down from the tree. It doesn't even say how they got her down from the tree. I mean, I don't know. I guess you wave a crack pipe and they'll come down, right? I heard that, yeah, naked people in Florida, like if you just shake a crack pipe, they'll run right at you. They want the crack pipe. You can get them out of a tree. You can get them out of a dumpster. You can get them off the top of a public school bus. They'll run. You just go ting, ting, ting on the ground with a crack pipe. Ting, 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 ting. And they run right towards you. I'm just being stupid. Yay! A Florida stripper was arrested for throwing a wad of money at someone. Oh, why are you pissing off the strippers, man? Can't you leave the strippers alone? It's hard life being a Florida stripper. We have a disgruntled Florida stripper who was arrested. The disgruntled Florida stripper allegedly hurled a large amount of rolled up money at her co-worker's head. Oh, sounds like a stripper altercation. Tierra Miller, age 29, is the stripper. Her accusers are not one of the other strippers, but a 34-year-old man. Is it the DJ? Is it the bartender? Is it the owner? The man she previously dated for 6 months, it said. They both work there at the Baby Dolls strip club in Clearwater. The alleged cash attack, they're calling it a cash attack. Oh, I would love to be involved in a cash attack. Please hit me with a wad of cash. The thicker the wad, the better. Knock me out with a brick of hundreds, please. I'm down for it. The alleged cash attack happened inside the club at 11:55 a.m., a little early. This is the lunch shift, so I'm guessing that this stripper doesn't have the best shifts. She's not having a great time, Tierra Miller. She's struggling right now. Okay, so Tierra and the man who was hit with the wad of cash apparently broke up a week previously. It doesn't say what made them break up, what was going on, but you can just imagine. It's not going to work out, all right? you're with a Florida stripper, you're probably a bouncer at a strip club, or you're the DJ. It's just, this isn't where we all want to be in the world of romance. When the man attempted to walk across the stage to speak to another coworker, the stripper Miller reportedly hurled a large wad of cash at him, striking him in the back of the head. It ricocheted off his head and then landed on his toe. Then it bounced up and hit him in the left calf. He fell to the ground, rolled over. The rest of the cash landed on his chin. I'm just kidding. I made up a lot of that, but it definitely struck him in the back of the head, it says. Sir, could you show us exactly where you were hit with the wad of cash? We want to see if it left a mark.
Well, yes, officer. Well, she hit me right here behind my left ear with the wad of cash, as you can see. I don't know if you feel right here. There's a little bit of a lump, though. Do you think I got a case?
Now, due to the circumstances, the Florida stripper, Miller, was slapped with a misdemeanor domestic battery charge. According to the complaint, which noted that she appeared to be sober and the attack did not draw any blood. Oh, he got hit with a wad of cash. It didn't draw blood. What a surprise. The poor guy. Was there a broken bone? Sheesh. They're treating this like he got hit with a brick. The article says it's unclear how much money was used in the attack. Sir, could you tell us how many ones were in there? I mean, we don't know how good she is. There might have been some fives in there too, but we're looking at her and the time of day it was. We're guessing it's mostly ones during the lunch shift. So could you kind of like imagine how many of them hit you in the attack? The details they go down with this. The stripper, Miller, was reportedly released from jail without bond in order to avoid contact with her ex, even as she was allowed to continue dancing at the club that employs them both. I don't know how you're going to avoid that. You're going to have him work the night shift and her continue. Although maybe she can graduate to the night shift and then have him work the lunch shift. I mean, either way, you can't have them both under the same roof where there's a wad of cash, which clearly can be used as a very dangerous missile. I was unaware of that until now. Thank you, Florida couple.
Yay!
Hey, thanks for joining me for this episode of Florida Friday. I hope you're having a nice weekend, or maybe you're about to, or maybe you had one. Maybe you live in a different space-time continuum and your weekend isn't coming for another week. That makes no sense, but I just thought I would show off my science fiction fantasies. Is anyone going to build a time machine yet? I mean, we're still waiting on this. You know, I mean, we got ass implants. How about a time machine? Please. We've been asking for this for a long time. I need to go back and fix some shit I did way back in the day. Definitely wouldn't have taken out that student loan. That's for sure. Anyways, I'm highly caffeinated per usual. I had a good time with this episode, and a lot of it is credit to the people who sent me Florida articles last couple of days. So I want to thank everybody who sent me Florida Friday weird stories. I think we did a bang-up job. Anyways, did the best I could given the circumstances. I'm recording in a closet after all. What more do you expect, guys? This isn't NPR. I don't have a team of writers. Okay, just FYI. Big love coming right now as we give thanks and praise for Scooby. I don't know who Scooby is, but I love his snacks, or her snacks. Scooby bought me, check this out. Scooby bought me 33 coffees. 33 coffees. Went to my website, weirdafnews.com. I was like, I'm going to buy Jonesy not just one coffee, 33 damn coffees, man. I woke up to that. I was like, this is tremendous. I drank them all. Already. No, I didn't drink them all. I'm going to. You know me. Listen, I believe in myself. I can conquer anything. 33 coffees, that's 2 mornings. Scooby bought me 33 coffees and wrote me a nice note. It says, I feel bad that it took me this long to donate. You have made my commute more bearable, Jonesy. You put me in a good mood before I arrive at work or home and give me great conversation starters to share. Your genuineness and dedication to your listeners is second to none. Keep cranking out the funny. Yeah, isn't that a lovely message? That's great. I love to hear that. I'm happy to make your commute bearable. It's hard to commute. I know. I'm about to drive to San Diego. So I got about a 3-hour commute to go down there and do a couple shows, which FYI, if you're in San Diego tonight, I'm at the Laugh Factory in San Diego. There's a link in my Instagram profile that you can buy tickets if you would like. This is Friday. I don't know when you're listening to this, but this is Friday the 31st, San Diego. Anyways, back to Scooby. Awesome message, bro. Really, really appreciate it. And, you know, you make a good point in there. Great conversation starters. Yeah, because the stories are like really off the wall. And so it's kind of fun to tell others about the weird stuff that's going on. A lot of people don't know about this sort of news that's happening. You know, they get the mainstream news, but they don't hear about all these little weird things that are happening. These things make the world go around too. Definitely good conversation starters for sure. Appreciate you, Scooby, for buying me all the coffee. It's very generous of you, and I hope you'll continue to be a listener for years to come. If you guys would like to support the show, you can go to weirdafnews.com and buy me a coffee, or 33 of them if you're feeling generous. That's pretty cool. You can also join the Patreon there. I got a Patreon, or you can go to patreon.com/weirdafnews, or click on the Patreon link that's in the description of the podcast. Or you can download the Patreon app and just do a little search for Weird AF News, and you can support the show by buying me coffees every month. It's another way to do it. Or you could just not do any of that and just listen. That's pretty cool, too. I'm very grateful for all of my listeners. I really am. And I let you guys know on a regular basis how grateful I am that you spend time with this podcast, because I realize there's so many podcasts out there that are battling for your ears. So I'm very flattered and grateful for all my listeners. Please consider telling a friend about the podcast over the weekend. That's pretty cool. The podcast is also a conversation starter. You can tell them some weird story you heard, and they'll be like, oh, where'd you hear that? Oh, Weird AF News podcast, man. You should check it out. It's not for everybody. It's for some of us cool people. Follow me on Instagram if you'd like, @FunnyJones. You can email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. And you can always call the show, 646-450-2012. Take care.